My wife texted, "Lawyer says I get half your business in the divorce. Thanks for building my retirement, LOL." I wrote back, "Interesting." Then I dissolved the LLC and restructured under a new corporation with my father as majority shareholder. Next month, her attorney was explaining why there was nothing left to divide. I, 38 male, was at my desk going through inventory reports when my phone buzzed. Tuesday, 3:47 p.m. Text from Vanessa, 36, my wife of 9 years. "Lawyer says I get half your business in the divorce. Thanks for building my retirement, LOL. Don't bother coming home. Locks changed. Papers being filed tomorrow." Attached was a screenshot of what looked like a legal consultation summary. Something about marital asset division and business valuation. I read it 3 times. We'd been rocky lately, sure. Arguing about money, about her spending habits, about her new friend, Brett from her yoga studio. But divorce? Filed without even a conversation? The retirement comment, though, that's what stuck. Like my 12 years building Jensen Specialty Solutions from nothing was just her personal piggy bank. I typed back, "Interesting." Then I called my dad. "See, here's the thing about my business. I started Jensen Specialty Solutions 11 years ago, year before I married Vanessa. It's an industrial equipment consulting firm. We help manufacturing plants optimize their machinery purchasing and maintenance. Niche field, decent money. I'd built it to about $340K annual revenue, employed 4 people including myself. But here's what Vanessa didn't know. Last year business got rough. Supply chain issues, clients delaying projects. I had to take on debt to keep payroll going. About $180K in business loans, all secured against company assets. Then 6 months ago, my dad Robert, 64M, came in as a silent investor, putting in $100K to help me through the rough patch. We'd formalized it with proper paperwork. He owned 30% equity legitimately. I'd been planning to buy him out eventually. On the phone, Dad listened while I explained Vanessa's text. "So she's going for the business?" Dad's voice was calm, measured. He'd been through his own messy divorce when I was a teenager. He knew the game. Apparently her lawyer thinks it's worth something. What's it actually worth after the loans? Maybe $120 in real equity. But she's probably thinking it's worth the gross revenue or something. Dad was quiet for a moment. "You know, I've been thinking about expanding my investment. If you're heading for divorce anyway, might make sense to restructure the company properly. I've got capital. You need protection." We talked for an hour, made a plan. Everything legal, everything documented, everything with legitimate business justification. By 6 p.m., I had a meeting scheduled with my business lawyer, Kent, for first thing Wednesday morning. Drove past my house that night. Sure enough, my key didn't work. Vanessa had actually changed the locks, called a buddy, crashed on his couch, didn't bother fighting it yet, had bigger priorities. Wednesday morning, Kent, my business lawyer, sat across from me, reviewing documents. "Okay, so your wife is filing for divorce and expecting to get half the business, but you legitimately have $180 in secured business debt. Your father owns 30% equity, and you're looking to restructure. What's the goal here?" "Legitimate business reorganization. My dad wants to invest more, become majority owner. I stay on as minority partner and operational manager." Kent leaned back. "That's legal, but timing's gonna look suspicious. Her lawyer will scream fraudulent conveyance, which is why we need ironclad documentation. Dad's putting in real money. We're paying off the high-interest debt, restructuring under a new corporation. It's a legitimate business decision that happens to protect my interests. You'll still owe her something. House equity, other marital assets." "I know, but the business itself, I'm not handing her half of what I built so she can fund her yoga instructor boyfriend's lifestyle." Kent smiled slightly. "All right, let's do this right. I'll need 3 days to draft everything properly. Your dad needs to transfer real funds. We dissolve the LLC, create a new C Corp, legitimate business structure. This needs to be defensible." We got to work. Friday evening, got served with divorce papers at my buddy Tyler's place where I'd been staying. Vanessa's lawyer moved fast. Petition claimed irreconcilable differences and requested equal division of all marital assets, including 50% equity in Jensen Specialty Solutions, LLC, valued at estimated $340,000. She wanted $170K for my business. Wild. I called Kent. Papers came. She's claiming the business is worth full revenue. Expected. I'm almost done with the restructuring docs. Your dad ready? He's transferring $150K tomorrow. Real money, real investment. By Sunday it was done. Jensen Specialty Solutions LLC was officially dissolved. In its place, Jensen Industrial Consulting Group, Inc. My dad owned 65% equity. He'd put in $150K fresh capital plus his original $100K stake. I owned 35%. We'd used his investment to pay off the high-interest debt, restructure contracts, even hired a fifth employee with legitimate business justification for expansion. Everything documented, everything defensible, everything legal. I stayed on as president and operational manager. Dad was chairman. He actually attended board meetings, reviewed financials, made real decisions. This wasn't a shell game. This was a legitimate restructuring. Monday morning, I had Kent send notice to Vanessa's lawyer. Please be advised that Jensen Specialty Solutions LLC has been dissolved. My client now owns 35% equity in a new corporate entity, Jensen Industrial Consulting Group, Inc. Financial statements attached. Then I waited. Update 1. 1 week later. The absolute meltdown was spectacular. First, Vanessa called me directly Wednesday evening. I answered. What did you do? She was screaming. Like genuinely screaming. My lawyer says there's nothing to divide. You hid the business. I didn't hide anything, Vanessa. The old LLC was dissolved. I'm now a minority shareholder in a new corporation. All legal, all documented. You're lying. You can't just make assets disappear. I didn't. Check the paperwork. My dad invested $150. He's majority owner now. I own 35%. Your lawyer has all the documentation. This is fraud. I'm telling the judge. Tell him, everything's legal. My business lawyer made sure of it. She hung up. Phone started blowing up immediately. Her sister Madison, 34F. Her mom Diane. Even Brett, the yoga instructor, sent me a message calling me a manipulative coward. Blocked all of them. Thursday, got a call from Vanessa's lawyer, Mr. Harrison. Mr. Jensen, this restructuring is clearly fraudulent conveyance. You dissolved a marital asset to avoid division. Mr. Harrison, my business was legitimate debt. My father made a legitimate investment. The restructuring happened for real business reasons. I have documentation showing everything. Your client isn't entitled to my father's investment or to equity in a company I don't majority own. The timing is suspect. The timing is unfortunate, but legal. My business lawyer assures me everything was done properly. We'll see what the judge says. I look forward to it. Here's what Vanessa didn't understand about business. The LLC had been struggling. The debt was real. Dad's investment was real. The restructuring was legitimate. Yeah, the timing was convenient for me, but everything was defensible. Could she still come after my 35%? Sure. But 35% of a company carrying debt with a majority shareholder who actually controlled operations? That was worth maybe $40K in real terms, not the $170K she'd been expecting. But Vanessa wasn't done trying. Friday afternoon, Tyler called me. He's my sales guy, works directly with clients. Hey man, weird thing. Got a call from someone claiming to be from the state licensing board, asking about our certifications, whether we had proper insurance, questioning some of our client contracts. My stomach dropped. What'd you tell them? Told them everything was in order, which it is. But it felt off, like they were fishing. Vanessa's trying to cause problems, make sure all our paperwork is spotless. Every license, every insurance policy, every contract. Spent the weekend doing a complete compliance audit. Everything was fine, but the harassment was obvious. Monday, the escalation continued. Got a call from my biggest client, Patterson Manufacturing. Derek, need to ask you something. Got an anonymous email claiming your company is under investigation for fraud. Is there something we should know? Rage. Pure rage. But I kept my voice level. No investigation. I'm going through a divorce. My ex-wife is trying to cause problems. Business is completely legitimate and compliant. I can have my lawyer send you documentation if needed. Not necessary. Just wanted to hear it from you. We've worked together for 6 years. I trust you. But I had to ask. I understand. Thanks for calling me directly. Vanessa was trying to destroy my business because she couldn't have half of it. Sending anonymous emails to clients, calling fake investigations, all because I'd legally protected my assets. Tuesday evening, got a voicemail from Diane, Vanessa's mom. Derek, this is Diane. I know you're angry, but what you're doing is cruel. Vanessa gave you the best years of her life. She supported you while you built that business. She deserves her fair share. You need to do the right thing and give her what she's owed. Call me." I didn't call back. Instead, I pulled up my old records. Supported me while I built the business? Vanessa hadn't worked a real job in 7 years. I'd paid for everything. She'd taken yoga instructor training 3 years ago that I paid $8 for, got certified, taught maybe 5 classes total, then quit because the studio politics were toxic. Her support was spending my money and occasionally remembering to ask how work was going. Wednesday, received formal discovery requests from Harrison. They wanted every financial document related to the business for the last 5 years. Every bank statement, every contract, every piece of paper. Kent called me. "They're fishing, looking for anything to claim the restructuring was fraudulent." "Will they find anything?" "No, because you didn't do anything wrong. This was a legitimate business decision, but it's going to cost you time and money to respond properly. Do it, whatever it takes." Spent the next week gathering every document, every single piece of paper. Bank statements showing the real debt, Dad's wire transfers showing real money, the employment agreement for our new hire, client contracts justifying the expansion, everything. Cost me $4 in legal fees just to compile and respond to discovery, but it was worth it. Every document proved the restructuring was legitimate. Update 2. 3 weeks later. The preliminary hearing was brutal. Not because I lost, but because watching Vanessa's entitlement crash against reality was almost physically painful. We sat in the judge's chambers, me, Kent, Vanessa, Harrison, and Judge Patricia Walsh. Informal hearing to discuss asset division before trial. Harrison started strong. "Your Honor, Mr. Jensen deliberately dissolved a marital asset to avoid equitable division. He owned a business worth approximately $340,000. Now he claims it's worth nothing." Judge Walsh looked at the documents. "Mr. Harrison, I see here that Jensen Specialty Solutions LLC carried $180,000 in secured debt. That would make the actual equity closer to $160,000, not $340,000. That debt is suspect, Your Honor. Convenient that it appeared right before divorce." Kent spoke up. "Your Honor, I have loan documents dating back 14 months, long before any divorce filing. The debt is legitimate, verified by third-party lenders." The judge reviewed more papers. "And the father's investment?" $150,000 in fresh capital, Your Honor. Wire transfers verified. Mr. Jensen's father now owns 65% of legitimately restructured corporation. My client owns 35%. Vanessa couldn't stay quiet. "He's hiding assets. He made the business disappear." Judge Walsh gave her a look. "Mrs. Jensen, please let your attorney speak for you." Harrison tried to recover. "Your Honor, the timing is highly suspicious. The restructuring happened after my client indicated she would file for divorce." "Actually," Kent said calmly, "the business discussions with Mr. Jensen's father began 4 months ago. I have emails proving that. The divorce filing accelerated the timeline, but the restructuring was already planned." This was true. Dad and I had been casually discussing him increasing his investment for months. The divorce just made it urgent. Judge Walsh spent 20 minutes reviewing documents. Finally, she looked up. "Mr. Harrison, I'm not seeing fraud here. I see a legitimate business restructuring. The debt is verified. The father's investment is verified. The new corporate structure is legitimate. Your client may be entitled to a portion of Mr. Jensen's 35% stake, but that's very different from 50% of the original LLC." Vanessa's face went white. "What? No, he owes me half." "Mrs. Jensen," the judge said firmly, "you're entitled to equitable division of marital assets, but your husband doesn't own what you think he owns anymore, and from what I see, he did this legally." Harrison tried again. "Your Honor, we request a full business valuation of the new corporation." "Granted. But Mr. Harrison, I'm telling you now, this looks legitimate. I suggest you adjust your client's expectations." We left chambers. Vanessa was crying in the hallway, Harrison trying to calm her down. I heard her wailing, "He can't do this. That's my money." Her money. My 12 years of work, her money. Kent and I walked to his car. "How you feeling?" "Tired. She's gonna keep fighting, isn't she?" "Probably, but you're winning. The business is protected. She'll get something. House equity, maybe a small payout for your minority stake, but nothing close to what she wanted." The house, that was another issue. We'd bought it 6 years ago, put down $60K, my money, still owed $240K on the mortgage. Current value, maybe $380K. She was living there, I was still paying the mortgage from my personal account because the divorce wasn't final. Yeah, I was gonna lose that too. But half of $140K equity, $70 because was a lot better than $170K from the business. But Vanessa escalated anyway. 2 days after the hearing, my dad got a call from Diane. Robert, this is Diane, Vanessa's mother. I think you and I should talk parent to parent. Dad put her on speaker, with her permission. I was there. What can I do for you, Diane? You need to convince your son to do the right thing. He's stealing from Vanessa. She deserves half that business. You know he built it during the marriage. Actually, Diane, he built it before the marriage, and right now I own most of it because I invested my own money. Money I earned and saved. You only did that to help him hide assets. I did it to help my son's struggling business. The investment is real. The money is real. I'm sorry Vanessa is disappointed, but she's not entitled to my investment. This is cruel. She has nothing. She has whatever the court decides is fair, but she's not entitled to half of something my son doesn't majority own. Diane hung up on him. Next, the social pressure campaign started. Mutual friends from the marriage began reaching out. Some I'd expected, Vanessa's friends obviously, but a few surprised me. Got a message from Andrew, a guy I'd considered a friend. We'd done couples dinners, watched games together. Man, heard about the divorce. Pretty messed up how you're handling it. Vanessa's telling everyone you hid assets. That's not cool, I responded. Vanessa told me she was taking half my business before even filing. I restructured legally to protect myself. But thanks for your concern. Still seems shady, bro. She gave up her career for you. She took yoga instructor training and taught 5 classes. I paid for everything for 7 years. But believe what you want. He didn't respond. Lost a few friendships that way. People who heard Vanessa's sob story and didn't care about the details. Fine. Showed me who was really in my corner. Then came the finale. Month after the first hearing, we're back in court. Full hearing on asset division. This time, formal. Vanessa brought her mom and Madison for support. They sat behind her, glaring at me. Harrison presented their business valuation. They'd hired some guy who claimed the new corporation was worth $280 total. He'd used some creative accounting, projecting future earnings, ignoring the debt structure. Kent destroyed it. Our valuation expert, cost me $3 but worth it, showed the real numbers. Current debt obligations, actual equity value, the fact that I didn't have operational control as minority owner. His valuation of my 35% stake, $38,000. Judge Walsh reviewed both. Mr. Harrison, your expert's valuation is wildly optimistic. He's essentially valuing the company as if the debt doesn't exist and projecting 5 years of perfect earnings. That's not realistic, Harrison argued. The judge wasn't having it. Final ruling. House equity, split 50-50. I had to buy her out or we'd sell. Her share $70K, my business stake valued at $38K. She got half, $19K. Her car, which I'd been paying for, she kept it, took over payments. Retirement accounts, we each kept our own. Mine was bigger, but that's what happens when you actually work. Total to Vanessa, $89, minus her legal fees, about $15. She'd expected over $200. She got $74K net. The rage was immediate. This isn't fair. He hid everything. You're letting him cheat me. Judge Walsh looked tired. Mrs. Jensen, your husband legally restructured his business. You're receiving equitable distribution. This hearing is concluded. I'll appeal. That's your right. Outside the courthouse, Diane tried to confront me. You should be ashamed. Stealing from your wife. I didn't engage. Just walked to my car. Madison shouted after me. Karma's gonna get you. Maybe. But not today. Final update. 2 months later, divorce finalized last week. Vanessa didn't appeal. Harrison apparently told her she'd just lose money trying. I wrote her a check for $74. Took a personal loan to cover it, but whatever. She cashed it immediately. The house sold. We split proceeds. She moved into an apartment with Madison. Heard through the grapevine she's complaining about having to actually work now. Got a full-time job at some marketing agency. Poor thing. Brett, the yoga instructor, apparently vanished once Vanessa wasn't living in a nice house anymore. Shocking. As for me, the business is actually doing better. Dad's investment let us expand properly. We landed 2 new major contracts. Revenue's up to $420K this year. My 35% stake is actually growing in value. Yeah, I lost $89 in the divorce. House equity and her share of my business stake. That hurt. Cost me another $18K in legal fees total, so about $107K total cost. But I protected the business, the thing I built from nothing. If I just rolled over, I'd have lost $170K plus the house equity. Instead, I lost $107K and kept control of my company's future. Worth it? Honestly, yeah. Not because I won some game, because I didn't let her entitlement destroy what I'd built. The weirdest part was running into Diane at the grocery store last week. She looked at me like I'd murdered someone. I just nodded politely and kept walking. Not worth engaging. Tyler asked me last week if I regretted how I handled it. You could have just given her the money, avoided the fight, and let her take half of what I built? While she was already planning to run off with her yoga instructor? Nah. Fair enough. You're happier now? Honestly? Yeah. Stressed about the loan I had to take for her payout, working more to rebuild savings. But I'm not walking on eggshells around someone who saw my work as her retirement plan. My 35% of the business is mine. Dad's 65% protects it from anyone trying to take it again. We have a shareholders agreement now. If I want to buy him out, eventually, I can, but for now this structure works. Lesson learned. When someone shows you they see you as an ATM, believe them and protect yourself. Vanessa texted me once 2 weeks ago. Hope you're happy. You destroyed our marriage over money. I didn't respond. But yeah, Vanessa, I'm getting there. She destroyed the marriage by planning to take half of what I built before even filing. By sleeping with Brett, by seeing me as nothing but a paycheck. I just made sure she couldn't take everything with her on the way out. Cool? Cool. My wife texted, staying at Sarah's tonight? Girl talk. I said, enjoy. Then I checked her location. She was at a cottage 200 miles away. When I showed up at the door with divorce papers and found her with her personal trainer. Original post I-38 male, got the text while eating leftover pizza in front of the TV. Wife, staying at my friend's tonight, babe. Girl talk and wine. Don't wait up. Me, have fun. Normal stuff. Her friend lived nearby. They did this maybe once a month. I figured I'd play video games and enjoy the quiet. Except I got bored around an hour later and remembered we had that location sharing thing on our phones. She'd insisted on it last month after some true crime podcast freaked her out. Just in case something happens to either of us, she'd said. Open the app out of pure boredom. Not suspicion. Just had nothing better to do. The little dot wasn't at her friend's house. It was showing some spot about 200 miles away, middle of nowhere near some lake. I stared at it, refreshed, still there. That's weird, I thought. Maybe the app's glitching? Then I remembered our credit cards synced to an app. Opened it. Recent charge, $450. Some cottage rental company, posted yesterday. Another charge, $195. Fancy restaurant, that same area. Posted 2 hours ago. My stomach dropped. Pulled up her trainer's Instagram. This guy she'd been working with for the past year since she got really into fitness. He'd posted a story a few hours back, sunset photo. Location tag matched where her dot was showing. Oh. I sat there for maybe 10 minutes just processing. Then something in me just went cold and logical. Grabbed my laptop, Googled divorce lawyers, found one with good reviews, filled out the consultation form. Then I looked at that location dot again, 4-hour drive. Packed a bag, stopped at the 24-hour print shop, had them print every screenshot, the location, the charges, her text, his Instagram, all of it. Cost like $35. Got in the car and started driving. Arrived around 1 in the morning. Found the cottage. Her car was there. His car right next to it. Some expensive sports car he probably couldn't actually afford. Took photos of everything. Then I called the rental company's emergency line. Hi, I need to report fraudulent use of my credit card. Someone rented a cottage without my authorization. The guy hesitated. Sir, if it's a joint card. I'm the primary holder. I didn't authorize this charge. I need it canceled and the guests removed. Long pause. We can cancel, but there's no refund and the guests will need to vacate immediately. Perfect. Hung up and waited in my car. About 20 minutes later, lights came on. The door opened. My wife came out in a bathrobe, looking annoyed. The trainer was behind her, shirtless. They were arguing with someone, probably the property manager. I got out of my car, walked into the light from the porch. My wife saw me and literally froze mid-sentence. "Hey babe," I said. "How's girl talk?" She couldn't speak, just stood there with her mouth open. The trainer tried stepping forward. "Look man, we can explain." "Don't care. Not talking to you." Looked at my wife. "I've got screenshots of everything. Your location, the credit card charges you made without telling me, his Instagram post, your text lying about where you were, all of it." "This isn't, I can explain," she started. "Nope, I've got a lawyer consultation in a few hours. You can explain to them. All communication goes through lawyers from now on." The property manager cleared his throat. "Folks, I need you to vacate. The reservation's canceled." "They're all yours," I said. Turned back to my wife. "Enjoy finding a hotel at 1 a.m. Got in my car and left. Drove 4 hours back home while my hands shook the entire time. Update 1. The last 2 weeks have been absolutely insane. Got home that morning and went straight to the lawyer consultation. Showed her everything. She looked at the evidence and actually smiled. "This is pretty clear cut. She used marital funds for an affair. That helps us tremendously." Filed for divorce that same day. Had her served at the gym 3 days later. Yeah, I made sure the process server caught her there with him. Petty? Maybe. Satisfying? Absolutely. She showed up at the house that afternoon. I'd already changed the locks. Lawyer's recommendation. Heard her key trying the lock, then pounding. "Open this door right now." I talked through the Ring camera. "You can pick up your essentials tomorrow afternoon. Schedule it with my lawyer. You can't lock me out. This is my house too. You left. You stayed at your mom's place for the last 3 days. You established residence elsewhere. But hey, call the cops if you think I'm wrong. They'll explain it to you." She called them. 2 cops showed up an hour later. I showed them the divorce filing, explained the situation calmly, showed them her text with the date stamp. The older cop looked exhausted. "Ma'am, this is civil. You need to handle it through your lawyers. You can't force your way back in during a divorce proceeding." "He's making me homeless." "You've been staying at your mother's house for 3 days. You have a residence." They left. She screamed at them from the driveway about abuse and abandonment. They ignored her. Next day, her mother showed up. This woman never liked me anyway, so this was going to be fun. She didn't knock, just started screaming through the door. "You monster, open this door and face me like a man." Through the camera. "Not interested in talking to you. My daughter made one mistake and you're destroying her life. One mistake is forgetting an anniversary. This was lying, cheating, and spending our money on it. That's a series of choices. She loves you, she's devastated. She was so devastated she spent 3 days at a cottage with another dude. I'm sure she cried the whole time. You'll pay for this. We'll take everything from you. Cool, see you in court." She stayed out there yelling for like half an hour before finally leaving. Then came the legal demands. Her lawyer sent a letter wanting me to move out of the house, her to have exclusive use of it during the divorce, $3,500 monthly temporary support. Both cars, we had 2, both titled in my name, full custody of our dog, my dog that I'd had for 7 years before we even met. My lawyer actually laughed reading it. The entitlement is remarkable. Her response letter was basically, absolutely not. Discover how much she actually contributed financially. She can get a job and we're keeping the dog because it's his. But here's where things got really interesting. I got a call from my bank. Someone tried to transfer $15,000 out of our joint account to a new external account. The bank flagged it as suspicious. Freeze it, I said. Remove her access entirely. We're divorcing and she just tried to steal money. They put a hold on everything pending legal paperwork. My phone exploded. Her friends, her sister, everyone messaging me. You froze her out of the bank account? How is she supposed to survive? She tried to steal $15,000. She can survive at her mother's house. You're being cruel and vindictive. She cheated on me with her trainer using my money. I'm being protective of my assets. Big difference. Then, and this is the best part, the trainer called me. Dude, you gotta chill out. She's going through a really hard time because of you. I almost laughed. She's going through a hard time? I'm the problem? You're being a dick about this whole thing. Just be cool and let her have some money to get on her feet. Let me get this straight. You slept with my wife while she was married to me, And now you want me to give her money? I mean, she needs help right now, man. You're her husband. Soon to be ex-husband, because of you and her. Mostly her, but you definitely helped. Whatever, dude, you're just bitter. Oh, one more thing. I filed a complaint with your gym's corporate office. Sleeping with married clients violates your employment contract. Thought you should know. You what? Hung up. I actually had filed the complaint that morning. Sent them all the evidence. Photos of them at the cottage, the Instagram posts, everything. Found out 2 days later they fired him. Well, terminated for violation of professional conduct policies. When my wife found out, she lost it. 30-something angry texts from different numbers before I blocked them all. The best one, "You got him fired? What is wrong with you? This is psychotic." I sent one reply, "He violated company policy by sleeping with a married client. That's on him. All communication goes through lawyers." Blocked her completely after that. Update 2. About a month since cottage night. The entitlement has reached absolutely absurd levels. Had a court hearing about her emergency motion to access the house. She showed up with her mother and sister, all dressed up like they were going to a funeral. Maximum sympathy play. Her lawyer gave this whole speech about how I'd cruelly locked her out without warning, denied her access to her belongings, was hoarding marital assets. Then my lawyer stood up and handed the judge a packet. All the evidence. Everything. "Your Honor, my client's wife told him she was staying at a friend's house for girl talk. She was actually at a rented cottage 4 hours away with her personal trainer, paid for with marital funds. When confronted, she voluntarily stayed at her mother's house. That's not being locked out, that's leaving." The judge looked at my wife. "Is this accurate?" She was crying. "I made a mistake. He's been emotionally distant for months." "That's not what I asked. Did you go to this cottage with another man while telling your husband something else?" "Yes, but I was confused." "And you stayed at your mother's residence afterward?" "I needed time to process." Motion denied. You established residence elsewhere. File a proper motion if you want property access. Next case. Her lawyer tried to argue. Judge shut him down immediately. Outside the courthouse, her mother completely lost it. "You liar! You manipulated the judge. I presented facts. Your daughter lied and got caught. She's suffering, don't you care?" "She's suffering the consequences of her own choices. That's not the same thing." Her sister jumped in. "You've always been controlling. She told us how you watched everything she did." "I literally found out she was cheating by accident. I wasn't watching anything. But thanks for admitting she's been painting me as the villain for a while." They kept screaming, but I just left. That afternoon, my wife showed up at my office. Security called me. "Sir, there's a woman in the lobby claiming to be your wife. Says it's an emergency." "We're divorcing. There's no emergency. Please remove her." "She's saying you have her medication, and she needs it urgently." I went down there. She was full crying, makeup running everywhere. "I need my anxiety medication. It's at the house. Please. I'm having panic attacks. Text me the prescription info. I'll have it delivered to your mom's address. I need my clothes too. My makeup, my stuff. Make a list. Send it to my lawyer. We'll schedule a supervised pickup." "Why are you being so heartless? Don't you care about me at all anymore?" Here's where I should have just walked away. But I was tired. "You spent 9 years with me. Let me work 60-hour weeks for 6 months so you could quit your job and find yourself. Then you cheated on me with some guy who's barely 30. Lied straight to my face about it. Used our money for your affair. And when you got caught, you tried to steal 15 grand. So no. I don't care about you anymore. I care about protecting myself from you." Security escorted her out while she screamed about me being a narcissist. But wait, it gets better. My lawyer discovered another bank account during financial discovery. One I didn't know about. My wife had opened it 2 years ago and had been moving money from our joint account into it. Small amounts, couple hundred here and there. Total, almost $19,000. When my lawyer brought this up in the next hearing, her lawyer tried claiming it was her personal savings. My lawyer countered, "It's marital funds moved without disclosure. That's dissipation of assets." Judge agreed. Ordered all accounts disclosed and froze that one too. My wife completely melted down. Started calling me from random numbers. "You're taking everything. I have nothing." You have whatever you personally earned, which is, let me check, nothing. You quit your job 6 months ago. I worked for our marriage. I took care of the house. You went to the gym and did yoga. That's not a job. I deserve financial support. You'll get whatever the court says you get, which probably includes having that 19 grand you hid counted against you. She was still screaming when I hung up. The absolute cherry on top? The gym's corporate investigation into the trainer expanded. Turns out he'd done this before with at least 2 other married clients. My complaint opened up a whole thing. Guy's completely done in the industry now. My wife somehow found out and tried blaming me for ruining his life and hers. I sent one final text. You both ruined your own lives. I just stopped protecting you from the consequences. Enjoy. Then blocked her everywhere permanently. My lawyer told me to go full no contact. You're winning. Don't give them ammunition. So here I am, a month in. Legal fees are already over $10,000. It's exhausting and expensive. But every time I think about maybe being reasonable, I remember her in that bathrobe at the cottage, him behind her, after she'd lied to my face and spent our money on it. Nope. She made her bed. She can lie in it. With or without the trainer, who apparently isn't returning her calls anymore either. Final update. 7 months since I showed up at that cottage. Divorce finalized last week. Time to close this out. The settlement process was brutal. She fought everything, every single asset, every expense, every detail. Her lawyer kept filing motions, asking for delays, trying to drag it out forever. Cost me another $14,000 in legal fees on top of the initial amount. Finally, the judge got fed up and set a firm trial date. That's when her lawyer apparently explained what would happen. All the evidence would become public record. The affair, the hidden account, the attempted theft, everything. Settlement offer came 2 weeks before trial. Final terms: house, sold it. After paying the mortgage, we each got about $82,000. She wanted more, claimed she'd invested emotional labor into making it a home. Judge wasn't having it, especially with the hidden $19,000 account sitting there. Her secret account got counted as advanced distribution of marital assets, meaning she'd already taken her share, so it reduced what she got from everything else. Spousal support. She wanted $3,500 monthly for 5 years. Judge gave her $1,100 monthly for 18 months. Specifically called it rehabilitative support, so she could gain employment skills. She cried when that was announced. Cars, we had 2, both titled in my name. She wanted the newer one. Got the older one, a reliable sedan but nothing special. I kept my truck. Retirement. This hurt. Lost about $38,000 from my 401k in the split. That's just how it works legally. The dog. She fought for my dog that I'd had for 7 years before we even met. Out of pure spite. I had all the adoption papers, vet records, everything in my name from before the marriage. Judge gave me the dog. She actually sobbed in court over this. Her personal debt. Discovered she'd racked up about $7,500 in credit card debt I didn't know about. Shopping, restaurants, who knows what else. Judge made her solely responsible for it. So yeah, I lost money. About $38,000 from retirement, nearly $25,000 in legal fees, and I'm paying her about $20,000 total over 18 months. But I got the house equity, my truck, my dog, and freedom. The affair legally didn't matter as much as I'd hoped. We're in a no-fault state. But it definitely influenced the smaller decisions. The judge's face, every time evidence of the affair came up, told me everything I needed to know about how it affected his view of her credibility. The aftermath for her has been interesting. The trainer thing imploded spectacularly. After he got fired, he apparently tried making things work with her. Lasted about 5 weeks before he dumped her. Guess the connection wasn't as strong when she didn't have money, and he didn't have a job. She's living with her mother, which according to mutual friends has been a disaster. Constant fighting. Her mother expected her to contribute and get a job. She expected to be taken care of while she recovered from trauma. She did get a job eventually. Some retail position, making probably 35 to 40K. But the $1,100 I'm paying basically doubles her income. Only reason she's surviving. Most of her friends disappeared. Turns out publicly cheating on your husband doesn't win you a lot of sympathy. The ones who initially supported her quietly backed off when the full story came out. And that gym banned her membership. Not because of the trainer situation, but because she caused a massive scene there after he got fired. Screaming at staff, throwing equipment. They escorted her out and blacklisted her from the whole chain. As for me, I'm doing all right. Bought a smaller house. Nothing fancy, but it's mine. Just me and my dog. Mortgage is way less than before, so even with the legal fees and settlement, I'm financially stable. Work promoted me a few months back. When you're not supporting someone who contributes nothing, you can focus on your career. Got a $12,000 raise. Started seeing someone new recently, taking it very slow. She knows the whole story. Her reaction? Wait, she cheated on you, lied about it, tried to steal your money, and then played victim? And people actually felt sorry for her? Yeah, I like her. Therapy helped too. Took a while to admit I needed it, but working through the trust issues with a professional made a difference. Still cautious about relationships, probably always will be, but I'm functional. My ex tried reaching out a few weeks ago through a mutual friend. Wanted closure and to apologize properly. I sent back. We're done. I don't need or want your apology. Move on. Haven't heard from her since. Looking back, would I have done anything different? Maybe I wouldn't have driven to that cottage in the middle of the night. Could have just filed for divorce with the evidence I already had. But something about seeing it with my own eyes, watching her face when she realized she was caught, yeah, there was closure in that. The revenge wasn't elaborate. It was just refusing to be a doormat. Not accepting her lies or letting her rewrite history as me being the bad guy. Not giving her continued access to my resources while she figured out her next move. Just enforcing boundaries and letting natural consequences happen. She lost her marriage, her home, her financial security, her relationship with the trainer, most of her friends, and her reputation. She's working retail at 35, living with her mother, paying off debt she accumulated during our marriage. Is that enough? For me, yeah. She made choices. Choices have consequences. I just didn't shield her from them. To anyone going through something similar, document everything. Get a good lawyer. Don't engage emotionally with them or their family. Protect your assets. And remember that being the bigger person doesn't mean letting someone walk all over you. The cottage was 7 months ago. The divorce is done. This chapter is closed. Time to actually live my life.